we're done. I finished making all the hotkeys and set up every scene, and now we should be good to go. Should be good to do some more replay analysis. Okay, that's funny. Alright, so I've got 4 replays today. I've got 2 from the same person, which I think both replays highlight his problems quite well. And they're all diamond-ish level. So I've got a diamond 1 3v3 replay, and I've got a diamond 3 2v2 replay that I'm in myself, so you guys can laugh at me while I analyze that replay. And then I've got a champ 1, I believe, replay. So I'm going to start with the... actually, might be good to start with the lowest ranked replay. And then we'll go from there. So this replay was... let me see. Oh, let's find our player. Sigoto, I think. Let me quickly check Discord. See which player he is. Yes, Sigoto. So he says, I think my rotations are pretty good, but I want to know if I'm wrong on that. So please tell me what to do better. I know my shots are not great, and I could have scored at least 2 goals if I were better at that. For this particular replay, on 1 minute 55 in-game time, I missed my jump, which led to a goal. And at 1:20, I made a horrible pass to the opponent. So, okay. So pay attention to the passes that he made to his opponents, and focus on the his general rotations and general positioning. So kickoff is fine. I think this is a situation where you can go for their corner boost instead. You don't really need to be back since you won the kickoff anyway. You're not really in a hurry. Like, unless your teammates do something stupid, this is a fine place to go for their corner boost. Now you're kind of just locked out of boost and you have no idea what's going on, right? So that's good. Teammate has control of the ball, so you can move up. That's fine. I think you could have, like, once you saw sure shot coming back, I think you could have just gone up, which, I mean, you did, but you could have gone a little bit earlier, could have been a bit further up. Here, this is an interesting one. When you're moving up like this, you kind of want to mimic, like, shadow your teammate, if that makes sense. So if he goes to the left, like, you don't want to go to the right there. You want to go to the left as well. So notice how that challenge puts you completely out of position, right? And you have to turn around, and then you just do something weird. Right now, this entire time you've been useless, and so shot just has to go for itself, like, for the ball. That's kind of awkward by you. Let's see that again. So nice touch. You didn't really need a jump there. If he hits that, just let him hit it. Don't give up a bad position for that. Like, if he hits that ball, then Lusitano will just have to make the save. That's just as simple as it gets. Your position there, was so good that if you, like, by jumping, you just give up a worse, like, put yourself in a worse position in case your opponent hits it. And even if he hits it, like, there's still a good chance that he'll just hit it into you and it'll just pop back out. And you lose the ball as a result, so it's obviously not the best thing that could have happened. So you see sure shot, going for it. Lusitano's backing off. Here, I would have hesitated to be up more, but at the same time, this is just kind of a weird, like, spot to be in, because Lusitano this is Lusitano's ball, and then Sure Shot comes in and just hits a weird ball into the wall. So this is like, kind of awkward for you. Good recovery, nice grab on the boost. Good realization, and that's okay. So let's see this one more time. So this is good, right? You got the boost. Good realization that this is not your hit anymore, and like that you need to maybe rotate back. So then you see this hit, and you should realize that Lusitano is turning, right? So instead, or like that, he should turn, I should say. So that this is not your ball, but it is someone on your team's. So you can kind of safely move up there. And now what happens is you just kind of awkwardly have to hover around, right? So in threes, generally you want to think about, okay, whose ball is this? For example, in twos where you go, okay, who's hitting the ball next? Where is he hitting it? In threes, there's an extra like layer of that, which is who's going to hit the ball next and whose team is he on. And in anticipation of that, you move up or move back. If you think that the next person to hit the ball is your opponent, then you move back. If you think the next person to hit the ball is your teammate, you move up, right? That's just basic kind of threes. But then that comes that additional like, okay, if it changes from, you know, their team's ball to my team's ball, do I need to move up even though I'm already like, even though normally I would rotate back. But in that situation that you just had, I would have moved upfield rather than moved downfield. Since going back to goal, which is kind of what you did, like you hesitated to move up, that gave your teammate, like the only thing your teammate could have done in that situation is just hit the ball forward. And there's a good chance that when he does, someone will be there waiting for him. So keep that in mind, like make yourself available for a pass, only if just to give your teammate an option, right? Because it's so much better if they have the option of passing but choose not to because of whatever it is they see, than it is to not have the option to pass and be forced to shoot it elsewhere, right? So keep that in mind. It's just in general, giving your team options. Good weight on that. Nice demo. Again, I think that's kind of a situation where you could have potentially moved upfield, but this worked out fine. Let's see. So here, you see Stinger going up. She should realize that it's probably going to be somewhere around here. Oh, you can't see my mask, can you? Let me see. Can you see my mask? Nope, I don't see any mask. Maybe if I do one of these. Yeah, alright, now you can see my mask. Okay, so the ball's going to go somewhere around here, right? Because that's just the way he's aligned. So if we play the clip, look where the ball goes. There. Right? So you could have read that pretty much. Like I don't say that you should have had this, but you could have read that and been ready to challenge it in the first place. So this is just kind of, it's not putting yourself out of position necessarily. It's just you could have been in a better position that would have allowed you again the option to challenge. Hello, do you take in other replays? Yeah, I can do a couple more. I've got 3 others besides this, but I'll just be taking in others. If you submit them on Discord to me, so just DM me on Discord and I'll do other replays. So yeah, again, options. Really important to have options or to give your team options if you can. That's a good save. Good enough at least. Let's see that one more time. So shot. I would have personally liked that. Liked if you put that further into the corner or if you put it behind you. Behind you is scary because you don't know what's there. So the better option is to put it in the corner where you can see it. But putting it like this just kind of puts pressure on your teammates to clear it out again because they have no idea who's going for the ball. Alright, so you get a nice clear. It's unfortunate that you get bumped. I want you just DM me on Discord. You can see me in the sidebar. DM me the replay, the rank it was played at, the name or your in-game name, and the name of the replay file. Those, sorry, so playlist, rank, replay, replay name. That's the one. So in this situation right here, this is kind of a mindset thing, right? This is a thing that you have to break through in order to get to the higher ranks, and this is something that I see a lot of players do that's just really, really bad, and it's called respect. Have respect for your opponent to be able to hit these kinds of things, right? You see sure shot. Jesus, I'll just call him shot. You see shot going up the wall here against Stinger, right? Stinger's not an AI. Good. Okay. So Stinger is going up the wall here, right? Shot is trying to pass this out to you. If he's going to pass this out to you, like just looking at how he's oriented with the ball, it's gonna go somewhere in this general area. Like if we go to flycam, why am I not on Rocket League? There we go. So if we go to, where is, okay, auto cam fly, right? So it's gonna be on in this part of the field, pretty much. That's where the pass is gonna go, right? So you being right in the middle here means that if it's on the left of you, you'll never get a decent-ish pass out, right? But if you're here, for example, a bit further back, allowing, like, giving your teammate the space to pass, but also respecting your opponent enough that he might get a clear, or he might interrupt shot from giving a pass to you. If you're like right here, or even in this particular part of the field, you're in such a good position. Whereas what happens now is it just gets passed over you, right? Now imagine if you were here. That's an easy shot at net, right? So that's just positioning and respecting your opponents enough to go, oh, well, he could get this. I'm gonna stay back a little bit more. And that's a really big issue in higher, like lower diamond ranks, and even like up until diamond 3, is just not respecting your opponent enough that they could make a clear. And this gets worse the higher level you get, right? The higher rank you get, the further back you'll have to be to respect your opponent and his mechanical skill. This is good clear from the backboard. Nice dunk. Shot misses, that's fine. Good pass by Lucy. That's probably going to be a goal. Nope. Lucy misses. Right. This is a touch I'm not too keen about. This one. I think here you just let this roll. Like that. Yeah, that's definitely a roller. You just roll that one, you don't really shoot it. Either you shoot it or you like roll it, but I think rolling is just way better. Keeps possession. Ooh, that's not good. Let me see that one more time. So you get into the corner, and then I think he's at the near post. So that's just a mistake by your teammate. That's actually a good touch by you. Allowed Lusitano to come in and control. Close shot. This is the same thing again, right here. So Lucy passes out to shot. At this point, you should respect your opponents enough to think that they'll clear this, which they do. And now you're in a bad position. right? You're not in a position to challenge this. I mean, yes, you are now because they mess up, but you shouldn't expect them to mess up like that. You should be in a position where you can challenge no matter what happens, like if they mess up or not. That's just mechanical misplay. Just general comfort on the wall. What a shot. That's something you can't really stop in this case. Let me see. Yeah, so Lucy moves out when he shouldn't. Just not looking at his screen. Alright, hold on, let me check. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, that's just a really good shot. Hard to save that. Really want to work in that second flip into, or your a second flip into your kickoffs. That's a general. Yes, I am Dr. Boom. I'm Subdivides. Well, actually, my name isn't Subdivides, but my online name is. You know, it's how it is. Again, didn't need to pass that out. And then. I mean, you're being quite adventurous in. You're being quite adventurous in your wall plays, which is good. Like you're definitely, you know, experimenting and trying your best to get wall plays going, and that's good. But you're definitely, you know, kind of missing out on some of the opportunities where you shouldn't be on the walls, or like you should have just been in a different position and you wouldn't have to go on the wall. So pay attention to that. Let me see here. So that's fine. I would have waited a bit more. No, this is Patrick. Alright. So I would have waited a bit more here. So you get this touch, that's good. And then you just kind of overboost. And now you have a horrible touch that's gonna get challenged. But other than that, pretty much fine. That's a pass back. Good wall hit. You should be moving back to goal here. You're just kind of hovering here. Like, no one's going to get to that before. Like, KPI is always going to beat shot to that. So why not just move back a little bit? Because now shot is going to be upfield. And Lusitano needs your support. And then you just kind of get caught out. Yep. And this is just you not panicking and not being in the right spot. You rotate in way in front of the short post and just get absolutely taken out of the play. Yep. Yeah, rookie mistake in the corner. That just happens. I mean, that happens when you're under pressure, like under a lot of pressure in time, in terms of time, and you know you're desperate to get a goal. But like, this is the type of thing where you have to be like consistent. Don't rush something because you're like under pressure. If you're under pressure, that's the moment when you have to go, okay, calm down, do everything textbook. Don't rush, don't be too calm, just play very clean. Make good clean rotations. Take good lines to the ball. Look at your screen properly. Right, that's when you have to when you cannot afford to make those mistakes, because mistakes that happen because you're rushing or because you're feeling the pressure, those are the worst, because they tend to be these really small mistakes, like really small ones, that will end up, you know, leaving you unable to contest the pass, or that will, you know, take you out of the play for no reason. And that, at the same time, that is my advice to you. Is, well, my biggest advice to you is look at your screen better, right? And that sounds really weird when I say that, but if you think about it, it's actually quite true, right? The biggest thing that people struggle with at, you know, whatever rank, well, most of the highest ranks though, like the biggest thing people struggle with is in Diamond is how to position yourself properly. Like, where do I need to be? What do I need to respect, right? And when, like, the higher you get, the more important this becomes. Like, reading your opponent, reading what kind of touch they're going to take, right? So if we, I think, where was it? No, I want 100%. Right, so again, this is a good example of this, right? KPI is up. There's no one on your team that's up, so he's going to hit this no matter what. Like, unless he misses. This is Diamond 1, Dr. Doom. Dr. Boom, sorry. So KPA is always going to hit this, right? No matter what, he's going to beat everyone on the pitch to this. So if you look at your screen, right? I'm looking at this screen and I go, okay, well, there's no one on blue team up. There's no way I'm going to get past to. So I'm going to have to watch. All right, so this is fine. You hover back a bit. This is fine. KPI hits it. Sure shot is now out of the play. There is no one in net right now. So you know that there's no orange player right now that could take a shot right now that will go into net, right? You know this because you know where they are. However, that doesn't mean that you don't need someone covering net. Like, if Lusitano goes for this ball, which the most likely thing that will happen, there's no one, like, if he gets beaten to the ball, you'll be in this spot. So right here, instead of turning like this, I would have gone to net. Because look what happens. They commit, get the ball past you, right? Which doesn't really have to be the case. Instead, they get the ball past Lusitano, and you can take a shot from net. This is, I will say, this is kind of tailored advice, because at higher ranks, I would say definitely go for this ball. But at this rank, like Diamond 1, lower diamonds, it's still not, you're still not at a rank where you can kind of, you know, you're still not at a rank where you can kind of trust your teammates enough to where you don't need to play safe. Like, I will play hyper safe at this rank, because you cannot trust their mechanics enough, right? They'll get nutty shots sometimes when they don't plan to, and sometimes they get horrible touches even when for the easiest shot, right? And that's something that you have to play around. So you play around that by being safe and by rotating back to the goal as much as you can. That said, I think supporting that play was fine. You just were a little too slow on doing so. But so my advice to you is play safe, look at your screen better. Like, look at the information that is on your screen and use it. Use it to make your decisions. Right? So that's that's my advice to you. Your positioning was mostly fine. Like, you were in the right spots usually. There's one time where you were hovering for a long time, but you're in the right area. You just need to be a little bit more precise, and you need to have a little bit more respect for your opponent's ability to clear the ball away. Like, that's a big thing in threes. In threes, you have to give your opponent space, and I mean that in the sense that if they're going to touch the ball, respect that. Respect that they're going to touch the ball and that they're probably going to get a good touch, unless you force them to take a bad touch, right? So get in the habit of being like, okay, he's going to touch this, I'm going to stay a little bit back, and then I'm going to contest the touch that he makes. And if he, like, once you get higher, you'll notice that people will start, you know, keeping the ball close to them, and you'll go, okay, well, I'm going to challenge right in the spot where he can't control the ball, like, doesn't have full control of the ball yet, but also can't, you know, take me out of the play with a cheap little flick or something like that. Alright, so that was this one. mark that done. Alright, so next up we're going to go to a replay that was played at Diamond 3 level. I was in it, so you get to laugh at my whiffs. That's always fun. And this is a game that I played with someone that I play with a lot. He's also in the Discord, Izzyplosion. He's kind of veering between Diamond 3 and Champ 1 in 2s. And I think I can point out quite well what his problems are and why he, suffers from the problems, or why he suffers from that kind of indecisiveness between, getting to Champ 1 and falling back to Diamond 3. So immediately, kickoff plan, you want to be challenged. You want to be cheating up ever so slightly, if you can. Always, you can always go back and get boost, unless the person on kickoff fucks up. You'll be in a good spot. So that's something that you could work on. Close enough. Let me see. 1 second. So that was a fine pass. I barely missed that. I remember that situation. So I barely missed that. This is a really, really weird thing for you to do, right? Because if you look at me, I've probably turned by now. Because I expect, let me see. So I've probably turned by now. Have I? Yes. I'm in the process of turning. Right? And then you just kind of stand still. And that's something that is really, really hard to play around at higher levels, right? Having someone that just like turns into the position they're supposed to be and then stops is I don't know what's going on. To me, that signals I have no idea what's going on. I'm just standing here, and I have no intention to actually go for the ball because I've frozen. I've frozen up. Because at high levels, you never stop moving, like ever. Unless you're like waiting on a shot in goal, something like that. So don't do that. Don't like turn onto a position and then stop there. So this should have been a goal. 100%. So that's a great pass to you. What you do is you volley this. You don't wait for the touch or like the bounce, I guess, which is fine. But I'd say power shooting this is better. Also, this is a mechanical thing, but so I'm not gonna really point it out. But note how you hit the ball here. So he passes this out to you. Right. Notice how you hit this ball. So you're going to hit it with the upper part of the nose, and it will have almost no power. But if you hit that with the corner or even the nose of your car, you can get so much more power on that. So this is good. Good pressure. I'm not ready for that pass yet, but I will turn around. Kind of left the ball there. That's bad. Let's see. So you should have turned it there immediately instead of waiting, but not a very big deal. This is awkward. So you take two bad touches in a row here. So the first one gave away possession, and this one kind of fucks you over. I think there you didn't really need to touch the ball because there was no way that he was really going to get a hit, but it's fine. I should have scored that, or at least shot it on net. that should definitely be yours. Like, as soon as I go up and you notice that he misses, you should be up for that. But that, again, just kind of speed issues. That's fine. Okay, so going for boost, that's fine. Alright, so this is one of those things where this is one of your issues, right? Look at your line here. So you go to the boost, that's fine. Pick up the boost. Now, I'm going to clear this ball out to the right, meaning they're going to try and look to clear it back to us. Now, I get a pretty good clear, so I'm in a good, like, we're actually in a good situation. But notice how you rotate back, even before you see that I clear this ball out, right? You have no idea whether or not this ball is out, and you're already in midfield. Almost already in midfield, right? Look how far you've gone out of goal when you, like, we've actually not cleared the ball away. And now you get this really awkward touch that's really awkward for me as well to receive. And it's just a altogether, like, weird situation. So what you should have done here instead is actually finished your rotation. Hold on one sec. You should have actually finished your rotation all the way to the goal, and then once you had the information, like, oh yes, the ball is being centered, that's when you should realize, okay, yes, I'm going to midfield. And what you did here was you just kind of put yourself in a bad position by going out a little bit too far. Good boost still. Biggest priority should be moving back now. And this is another one of these. Like, this is, again, the same issue. Is not finishing your rotation. Like, look how close you creep to me. Whereas, if we just kind of... Wait, hold on. Hard attach. Hard attach to your car. Where are you pointed? This is Diamond 3, Cypher. High Diamond 3. So, if we look at where your car is posted, is like, moving towards, it's, your car is pointed here, basically. So if you keep moving like this, you're gonna end up right here, and then you turn towards the ball, which means the ball should be here. Now, if you'd been going right here and then make a turn, you'll stop right here at the far post, and you can save every shot that you would want to save, right? And that's just kind of, that's like the #1 issue that a lot of high diamond players have, is they just don't finish their rotation. Like, they don't make clean rotations. They'll cut their rotations a little bit, and they'll see, you know, whatever it is that comes at them. But sometimes they'll be right here, and someone will pass it, like, out to somewhere here. And then you can't challenge because you have to turn around, get momentum again, right? So being here, that can't happen. I mean, they can try and slot it in this part, but if you see a pass like that, you'll just move up from here to here and then just aerial it away, right? But being at the back post, always, I mean, always, always, always is like the #1 thing that I would advise to anyone that is at close to champ or like high diamond and struggling, is go through your replays and check how often you do not finish a rotation backwards. Like how often you rotate in right here and you end up in the middle of the goal instead of ending up at the back post. Do this. Like, check your replays and check how often you do not rotate in at the back post, but instead rotate in at the middle of the goal. It's such a prevalent mistake, and doing it is bad. You want to rotate in at the back post. You want to finish rotating into goal at the back post. Do this. I kid you not, you will see your win rate improve. So now, like, I get this, but if I hadn't, they would have passed it past you. Right? And you would have probably gotten it because Hugo isn't in the right spot. But that could have ended so much worse if they got the proper touches and the proper positioning. So good 50-50. Getting that boost is probably more important than getting the ball there, because there's no way you're making that play with 16 boost. And again, notice again, it's the same mistake, right? That led to a goal. So you turn in, but you're not on the goal line. So you're already in a bad spot, right? Because you don't want to do defending from in front of goal. You want to do defending on the goal line, not in front of it. Because you give, like, the further you are from the goal line, the less time you have to react. So here, he pops it up, and you notice, like, you're going for this, but the other guy, the CSGO speed guy, he's going for it as well. And now that you're out of goal, he can just shoot it past you. Now, had you been on the goal line, and had you been creeping up, that would have been an easier save of your life. Right? But you weren't. And that's just, this is again, no clean rotations. Make clean rotations so that you're always in the right spot. And by making these sloppy rotations, you will put yourself in positions where you could have saved a shot, like here, but can't because you're not in the right, because you're not making those clean rotations. Clean rotations are really, really important. Finish your rotations properly. Don't make a quick turn because, oh, I'll be at the ball quicker. No, you don't need to be at the ball quicker. You just need to be in the right spot. If you're in the right spot every single time, you don't need... That's also like a part of speed, being in the right spot. But if you're in the right spot always, you don't need to rush because you're already in the right spot. And if you get beaten to the ball, provided your teammate back isn't being an idiot, you know, you won't concede. So demo there is nice, picking up boost. Notice how, like, notice this in my play as well. If we take a look at this kickoff from my perspective. In that position as a champion, I would have challenged, correct or no, when he conceded. I wouldn't have challenged. I would have probably stayed in net. Well, it depends. Like, either you have to go for the ball immediately, and you can't let Mario take it, or you have to, if you don't go immediately, then you have to just go, hope you can make the save, which in this case he could, but he didn't because he was out of position. So look at my position, goal positioning here. I move and I stop at the back post, right? Because I'm trying to see, okay, what is this guy gonna do? So he gets this pass, and look how I'm in position for this. Because I can see, well, two things. I can see, so one, I can see the back player isn't, you know, in this general area. So he's either off my screen, which is a very good possibility, or he's like, you know, way back. So I stay at the back post. Now he passes to where I know there is no one. I go for the ball and I see my opponent, right? I kind of give him the ball for free, and I should have scored that 100%. But notice how my positioning in goal allowed me to make a decision with all the information I needed. I saw a pass to empty space, and I was in a position to act on it, right? And that almost led to a goal. I could have scored that goal had I been not a beanbag, and that would have been, you know, 2-1, right? But that was all because I had the proper positioning in goal, and I had the information, and I made a decision based on that information. Now, my biggest mistake in that entire play, except missing it, because that's a mechanical mistake. We don't really care about mechanical mistakes, but we do care about my for example, I shot the ball at the back person, right? That's obviously bad. Now, that's my only mistake in that situation. But I had the information, right? I had the information, and I made a decision based on it. Now, that's why good goal positioning is so important. Because if you have good goal positioning, you get that information. Like, that's the biggest reason why people concede goals is because they don't have the right information. They'll pass it straight to an opponent. Right, so I just whiffed the save after that. Like, I whiffed the shot and then whiffed the save. Let's see here. So this is a good cheat up. Instead of wasting all your boost here, like, you're going to get beat to that boost. So instead, hook around, like, right here. Once he flips, you're never going to beat him. So you get this pad, and then you get the pad in front, and then you get this pad on the other side of the goal. And you're at, like, what, half boost? Right. Now you're just kind of waiting on the ball. Like, this is why that would have been such a good decision. Because now, like, after that touch, I commit to this. That's probably bad. But I can see you struggling, like, super hard, and you're just being, in general, useless. So I commit to this. Because I think, well, if we get this ball out, you get time to, you know, reset. But this was just, like, you being really overwhelmed, and that's because you put yourself in a horrible position again, right? You fixated so much on that corner boost and getting it that, like, you basically, I can guarantee you your thought process in this, like, this play was, I'm going for the boost, and if I can't get the boost, I'm going for the ball, right? That was, I can guarantee you that was the thought process that went into that play, right? Whereas, if you think about it, that's actually quite a silly way of thinking, because what you should have been thinking is, all right, let's say I don't get the ball and I don't get the boost. Well, I mean, at this point, like, once you got what was it, so you get this kickoff, right, or you cheat up on this kickoff, like, once you see this you should have already realized, well, I'm not getting the boost. So now at this point you have to identify, can I get the ball? Right, and that's not sure, because you won't have much boost when you get to the corner. So, in this particular situation, your thought process should have been, alright, I cannot guarantee getting the ball. If I don't get the ball, what's going to happen? Well, we're probably going to get scored on. So, my best option is to retreat. And then you keep going for it anyway, right? And this is something that's really hard to do, like, to realize on the spot that, okay, I want to go for the ball, but I can't go for the ball, so I have to retreat. Right? That's something that's really hard to do on the fly, especially in, like, a kind of, well, pressure situation like this one. But it is super important. Now, my mistake was to challenge this, right? That was my mistake. However, the reason why I made that mistake is because we were in a horrible spot. You kind of, like, you forced us into a bad position, and I was trying to make up for that bad position by challenging, right? And that's my bad. Like, I should have seen that, and I should have gone, okay, well, I'll just let them do their thing, and I'll just be here chilling. And that's just something that happens, you know. Sometimes you just make a bad decision because you're like, okay, well, this is not going our way. Let me try and fix this right now. And that's just not good. But again, so try and focus on, you know, what happens if I don't get the touch that I want. That's a bit of an ambitious area. Yeah, so this is just something, this is again, not really thinking about what you're doing. So here your thought process should have been, okay, this is a very powerful clear. Like, this is an actual power clear. I probably won't be able to get this straight away. So now if you'd been on the ground right there, you would have gotten that bounce, you would have passed it to me, and then we would have had a goal opportunity, right? But since you don't, we're just kind of cut off from this entire play. So in some positions, it's better to be patient rather than rush the ball. In lots of positions, like Cypher says, yeah. Generally, like if you notice, I don't know if if you have played at Diamond 2 level, but if you play at like Diamond 1, Diamond 2 level 2s, like if you play at low Diamond 2s, you'll notice a lot of the time, what they do is they'll make a bunch of touches, like, because then they don't think about, you know, okay, I can leave this ball for a bit. They'll just make a bunch of touches that don't really do anything. So rather than rushing the ball, you know, and making, you know, keep making those weird touches, just be patient, wait for a good touch. Like if you only waited for good touches, I mean, yes, you would get outpaced by higher ranked players because they'll be, you know, much more precise and they will just start playing around you, I guess. But if you wait for only good touches, I will guarantee you that you will see the game change on a fundamental level. Like, you'll start to play completely different games. But as you get higher, people start to punish no backboard defense and hit rebound shots. Yes, exactly. So, I mean, you don't need to, like, jump for everything, or like, sometimes, like, there's moments where you don't need to jump for something, or you just know, like, okay, I don't have to do anything here. So, and that's when you shouldn't rush the ball, but a lot of people still do. I don't know if you could have scored that. That's a pretty bad pass by me, but I think you could have scored that. It's a really tight angle though, so don't blame you for not scoring it. It's such a good hit. Okay, again, if we notice this, okay, so this time you actually rotate in, like you almost do it correctly, right? You turn in a little bit too quickly, and now you're in front of net again. Now, had you been on the goal line, that would have been a clear away for you. You actually would have had possession as well. And now you have to aerial and you have no information, right? Proper goal positioning nets you information. Information is needed to make the right play. So, again, had you been on the goal line, like right now you have to aerial because you have no idea where your opponents are. See they're not there, and then you just kind of do this, right? You have no idea what's going on in the play. Now, if you look at my perspective here, I just see this. Look how I kind of rotate on the goal line, and I even move back as soon as I see that it might be able to pass it to me. But I have information. I know where everyone is on the pitch, right? And that's important. Note how I rotate in. So I see, like, this is kind of what you should be looking for. Like, look how I'm rotating to the back post. You know what see what I mean? And then I see, okay, he's getting beaten, so I rotate in earlier. Right? That's how you want to rotate. Is you want to go, okay, well, I'm going to go back to the far post. If my teammate gets beaten, I'll just rotate it in a little bit earlier and clear the ball away. That's the way you want to do it. Is if you need to do damage control, do damage control. If you can't do damage control, then you don't do damage control. You just rotate to the far post. You take your time. You go patient mode, basically. You just wait for them to make a play and then you react to it. What rank is this at? This is, I think at the time, we were Diamond 3, like high Diamond 3, like Div 4 Diamond 3, or maybe low Champ 1, I think. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, this is high D3 or low C1. Like, we kind of, like, I don't think we D-ranked to Diamond, I don't think I D-ranked to Diamond 3, but I think this game was played against 2 Diamond 3s. So, take that for what it will. For what it is. Oh, and also, notice how here, I pay attention to where my teammate is, pass it out, and we get a goal from it. Right? That's just about, like, again, getting information. Like, the only thing I knew here... so I'm moving back. So I know, I can hear right there that there's no one there. Again, I can see that there's no one to where, like, there's no one where I'm passing the ball to. So I'm almost guaranteed a pass, right? And that's, again, that, you know, looking for information. Look at your screen to find what it is that you need to know to make the right decision. Now, if you're not in the right spot, then, or like you're not making clean rotations, it's really hard for you to find this information. Like sometimes you'll actually see me, you know, like use my right stick. I don't do it in this particular replay, but sometimes what you'll see me do is you'll see me just go, oh, is there someone going for this? Nope. Okay, I'll have time, right? And that's just kind of for making the right decision. So good shot here. You could have rolled that in. That was a bit close for no real reason, but that was fine. Now again, this is again a bad rotation. So this is good, right? It goes well up until, so you keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. You keep going. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad, right? This is still bad. This is still bad because where you should be is on the goal line. This is bad. Here you realize, and you start turning. Right? Now, if we go a little bit faster, look how awkward this has become for you now. Kind of. In the sense that your line to the ball is kind of awkward. And you can only put, like, you can barely put this out. Whereas, had you, for example, had you stayed on the goal line here, you could have just put that in the corner, put it wherever, really. Could have even, like, gone on the backboard to save that. But it's so awkward when you put yourself in a horrible position like that, because you're like not really respecting your oh, that's so bad by me. I want to see that actually. When you're not respecting your opponents enough. I don't think I expected that touch to the side there. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I can see myself getting... I can see someone getting beaten by that. He postures like he's going to... let me see. Where is it? So yeah, he looks like he's going to hit it to me. And then he flips to the other side and puts it past me. And I think that's where we surrender. Yeah, that's where we surrender. So far... Yeah, exactly. Flip timing is pretty hard to read there. I totally understand myself getting beaten by that. But, you know, it is what it is. I made a bunch of mistakes this game that, you know, could have... Like, I could have scored another goal. I could have waited a little bit there. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that I could have done. But for what Icy could have done better is just... clean rotations, like so important. I literally cannot emphasize this enough. Just having clean rotations would have been the difference between this game being close and this game being like, well, being a loss and this game being close. Right? Because a lot of the times you'll get a substantially better clear, you'll get more information, you can always make the right play. Right? That's so important at higher levels. Like, and I haven't even touched on like how important it is to have information. I've just been talking about, you know, how important it is to have good goal positioning, but like having the information that comes with that is even more important, like the higher you go, because you'll need to know, okay, I have time, or oh, I don't have time, or I have to put this ball, you know, right there, or in this general area, whatever. Like you have to start punishing people based on their positioning, and you can't know their positioning if you don't have the information. Right, so that's obviously very, very important, is get the information that you need. So this is something I don't usually do. This is a win. But I remember in this game oh, that's the wrong person. there being a lot of like mistakes that are kind of, you know, so I'm gonna do a little bit less in depth, but these are kind of the same mistakes. So again, so this is, sorry, not again. This is kind of just not, like, either you go for this immediately and you just try to put it into their corner or something, or you just kind of wait here. Like, you just kind of go, okay, well, I've pressured, like I'm pressuring, and now you move back. I mean, he messes up, so you get kind of lucky, but that's almost a good rotation. Wins are still good to analyze. A lot of the time people get goals from bad decisions, which reinforces the behavior. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's like, if you know you're making a bad play, but it's going to end up in, or like making a bad decision, but you also kind of sure that it is going to result in a goal, then, I mean, is it really a bad play? Okay, this is another good one, right? So this is yours, 100%. You should see that right here, and yet you still turn to goal. So he gets a bad shot, and then you respond by a bad hit, right? This is like, it's like, what? I mean, I think I score this, but this is like, what? If I see this, like, I think let me look at this from my perspective, right? So I see this and I just go, what the fuck? Because this is a horrible spot for us to be in. Like, you don't have control of the ball. The ball is kind of like in between. Yeah, exactly, silent. You're right. So like, he gives me a bad pass, but for all we know, he could have, like, you know, put it somewhere else and I'd be in an awkward situation or whatever. So I get this goal, right? I try to pass it to you, actually, which you don't quite read, but that's obnoxious. But like, that was just such a weird touch. I would much rather you take control of that, like you just dribble it, or like, I don't know, start a bounce dribble, or, you know, whatever. Like, you take a shot regardless, because it's a 2v1 situation and he's in a kind of an awkward situation where he has to turn. Like, you kind of want to hit the shot as he turns, something like that. But like, you getting that ball, like popping it up and then having a really weird recovery just puts us in such a weird position to continue that play. Right? It's just kind of wasting pressure. Like, we have them in a 2v1 and we waste it by not, you know, by making a really awkward touch. So you have 45 boost here, so you can use all of it. You don't need to flip. You flipping, this flip is actually quite bad if you think about it, because with this flip you're committed to the corner, right? And now you can do very little to correct your play. Often the difference between a positional error and a fantastic presence of mind play is simply calling the play. Yes, agreed. Sometimes you just need to call out what's going on, and then you'll be in such a, like, I think there might be an example of that in this game. Okay, so this is one of those moments where information is super important. So you get a good touch here, that's nice. But then you should realize that someone's challenging, and you should just try to hit that ball as soon as possible. Like, he's going up the wall right there. You can see him. You should have hit it right there. I mean, you still recover pretty quickly. And I have no idea now what's going on. So, if we look at this from my perspective, look how awkward it is that you get beaten here. Right? Because I'm like, okay. You know, oh. And then you get beaten. Because I already expect you, like, I expect you, when I see you having possession, I expect you to go, okay, well, I'm beating this guy at the very least. So he gets, right? And I have to turn around. Now, I luckily see that, you know, Avocado is far away, but he's still going to hit this before me. And note how I make a mistake here. I actually fuck up my positioning there. And look how awkward that is. See? This is what I mean. When you fuck up your goal positioning, you fuck up your defense. Like, I should have just kept rotating there. I guess I got kind of like, oh, maybe I should go up, but that's just a bad mistake. But this is so awkward. I mean, I deal with it kind of okay-ish. But right. So, now let's go back to your point of view on that play. Right? So you get that challenge. I disagree with this challenge completely. Like, this is a horrible challenge. But you could have put it like past him, and you choose to 50-50 it into him. What? Right? So that's just. Do you have any idea when we'll get to my replay? I'm rushing through this one real quick, and then I've got Cypher's replay, and then yours is up next. But yeah, so you just kind of force us into a bad position, and then here, this happens, and you just kind of like stop here, whereas this is not dangerous at all. Like, Avocado is never going to get a touch that will be really scary if you continue moving. Right? And we get scored of it because we get into this awkward situation where I was trying to get this ball and then I got blocked, right? And you were trying to make sure we didn't get scored on. But this is one of those moments where you have to realize that if you stay there, you're more in the way than you're helping the team, right? Prepare for the worst player you've seen, boys. Yeah, Cypher's a scrub, man. I don't know, I've never seen him play. Could be fucking god tier. Good hit off that. Would have been better if it was slightly more to the side. Kappa. That's a decent shot. Almost caught him pre-jumping. Oh, goalpost challenge. This is actually bad. This is actually really, really bad, right? Okay, look at this. So, chat, help me out on this one. What's wrong with this play? This is actually horrible. Okay. So this is where it starts. Well, actually, it starts a little bit earlier. So it starts right here. Alright. What's wrong in this play? I'm going to play it at 50%. Just tell me what's going wrong in this play. No, Cypher's got the right answer. Yeah, either he goes or not. Thank you. No need to commit there. Should have sat on back post. Yep. Yeah. So Dr. Boom Silent and Cypher got the right answer. So this is super, super bad. Like, if you do this, this is like the worst thing that you can do as a player for your teammate as well. So this is just like, okay, there's boost in that corner. You let that go. You don't challenge, and then you commit when it's already not your ball anymore, right? And that's just a horrible position. Had he shot this, like, had he made a better touch there and Assassino would have gone for that, that would have been a goal 100%. Like, you get lucky here, or we get lucky here, that they're not good enough to score that. But that position was terrible. You cannot double commit like that in front of goal. Good call. Decent rotation. Still cutting in a bit too much. So because you see Avocado there briefly. So he's not going to be... right side is goal 100%. Yeah, exactly. So, you saw Avocado there. You know he's not going to put that in a dangerous spot. And Assassiner is probably going back to where I am. So, you taking that shot immediately... Oh, and that's another bad one. You taking that shot immediately just kind of killed the momentum that we had, right? Because they're going to get it back and they're going to clear it back, right? But now on to this one. This is another one. Remember what I said about flips being bad? This is another bad flip. Look where you're going to land, right? Now, instead, what could have happened is you hit this, they hit that, you get this boost, and you turn to midfield immediately. Oh, hey, look. That would have been so easily yours. I mean, I go up for this because I'm like, okay, there's no one. This is a hit that you cannot go for, so I'm going for it. But you end up committing and we end up conceding, right? Now, had you been midfield, that would have actually maybe have forced them to move up, like to go up for this, right? And they had to shoot it. But flipping through the boost like that, like flipping to the boost is fine. Flipping through the boost or after you pick up the boost is so bad. You take yourself out of the play completely. Like, there's nothing you can do there. And then you turn around an aerial, which is like, when you're looking at it, like, if we look at it again, this is actually such nonsense. Like, I've already gone up. I'm going up at the same time as you. You're never going to get there. And now I'm just like, well, this is awkward. Right? Like, how... I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks this looks so bad? Like, going up for this? This looks so bad to me when I see this. Like, this doesn't happen ever. You don't get these across field aerials. Like, if you have to aerial for more than, you know, half a field, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Can tell you that much. That's a good pop. That's actually a really good pop. I mean, I should have followed that up, but don't think I expected a pop like that. That's super good. Took both players out of the play. Or out of contention, I should say. Not out of the play. What do you mean, Echo? Imo, if you communicate it in advance, it's fine. If he goes up for the aerial and re-rotate midfield, is fine in my opinion. It might not be perfect, but I don't think it's fair to say it's definitely yours. I think it is, because he's too far away. Oh, okay. No, I really disagree with you, Otto, because at that point, he needs to call it. Like, I see a really awkward ball. Right? It's super high up. There's almost no scoring angle, right? And he's far away. So there's already three ways why he can't go. The first reason is if he goes, he's overcommitting super hard, because I'll be upfield. I have, like, even if I recover, I'm barely in midfield, right? He's gonna put the ball in a horrible position because there's no scoring angle and I'm not recovered yet. And the third reason is he's really far away. Like, I get to the ball earlier than him, which is saying something. Like, if I'm going to get to the ball before him, that means that an opponent could have gotten to the ball before him as well, because they're closer, right? And those three elements together make it a really bad commit. Like, in general, the back player only really wants to come in to keep up pressure. And him going for that ball wouldn't have kept up pressure. It would have just, like, overcommitted us to this play. Right? It would have been, we score or we don't, and we concede a goal. And him going for it turned out to be an overcommit. Both opponents were not in a good position to go for that error. I disagree. We can go back for that. What was it? It was before the 3-3, right? Looking at this again. So avocado. Oh no, wait, hold on. Okay. So let's see. Both of them. Yeah. Okay. Agreed. If you cross that midfield line in the air like that before your teammate has has momentum towards backfield, is always a mistake. Even if it's worked out, it's a serious error. In threes, you can sometimes get away with it with good communication, but not in twos. Yes, I agree. Also, like, look at the the timing on this challenge, right? I mean, if we look at from my perspective, right, there is no way that they will be ready for your pass to compete, but they cannot compete for the first hit. So he has a shot and you have a pass, which you can choose to aerial compete for when you are in the air still. Yes, so he has a shot, and I have a pass, right? I can keep up pressure. That's my prerogative. I have options. He does not. He has to have a shot, and if it's saved, well, you know, it'll be saved. They'll have possession, right? Whereas I can pass and make a pressure play. Now I don't because I'm bad, but the better play 100% is to keep up pressure there. Like, I can understand him going for it. Like, I mean, it looks, you know, it looks impressive, and it looks like a really easy touch, but it's no, I disagree. I think him going is also bad because it just completely gives up pressure. I think 100%, like, my angle is really awkward, and that's because our opponent took a weird touch. But I don't agree with you saying that that like both sides can be argued. I think him going for that is 100% bad. He's coming from the back corner. If he's coming from midfield, sure, that's different story. But he's coming from the back corner. Like, he's aerialing from the entire field. Okay, Simon, that's a good one. That's actually a really, really good comment. Right, so where were we? So that's the miss, yada yada. Oh yeah, this is where we were. This is where the replay was stopped. Now he got the boost from the mid. He got mid boost and then flipped to back corner and then went for an aerial. His entire play was he landed at mid boost, got the mid boost, and immediately after you got the he got the boost, he flipped towards the back corner and then turned around and went up for an aerial. Now, I could have put the ball in a position where they could not aerial contest. I didn't because I'm bad and I intended to, but I didn't, right? But him going for that ball is almost 100% like how we're going to concede a goal. There's no way that he can put that ball in a good spot for me. So we're always going to lose pressure, like always. Because he's using, like, he's getting so much momentum to get to the ball before our opponents. Like, even if, you know, even if they're not in a good position, they're still going to beat him if he gets a slow aerial. If he doesn't go for a slow aerial, he's going to hit the ball straight out to midfield, like, somewhere where I'm not ready to receive it. So I cannot visualize a scenario where him going for the ball will like keep us in a good position to continue pressure. Yes, you can see the goal there. If you both go for it, if you rotate and he shoots, you'll be easily in a position to save. If you pass and he doesn't score, it's the same situation but less time for you to rotate. No, I disagree, because at least we'll have pressure, right? I can shoot it wherever. Like, I could have even put it somewhere where it's hard for him to get it, but at least we'd be the ones on pressure. He's using so much boost, he has no recovery option afterwards, and his teammate was deep in the opposing third. Argue should have stayed at the back, which was his original intention, because the most likely outcome was a bit clear. Agreed. I just don't see, like, yes, I'm saying I could have rotated back. Yes, that is a possibility, because everything is a possibility. But it's not the correct possibility. There is no, like, it is not correct for me to allow my teammate to use every single bit of his boost to go for a shot that he might not score, and then, you know, like, he's low on boost, I'm low on boost because I've just, you know, committed to a play. Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna go back again, but I'm low on boost, he's low on boost, so I'm gonna go get boost first before I do anything, and if it gets saved, you know, we'll have lost pressure. Like, I'm not arguing that it's not a possibility, and I'm not saying we shouldn't, like, we could have communicated it. We couldn't have communicated it. I'm just saying that there is, but you also used a large amount of boost to aerial pass somewhere where we will spend a lot to boost to get there. Well, because first of all, he has the entire overview of the play. He can get to that spot before his opponent can put the ball there. That's one, right? Two is, yes, I've spent a lot of boost, but that's like kind of the nature of aerials. At least, though, I'll have boost to recover, and I'll still, like, he'll be in a way better spot because he has an overview. He can be wherever he wants. He can see what's going to happen. Like, there is no reason why he shouldn't be in a good position to contest whatever clear or hit they get. Anyways, let's get back to this replay because we have more to go over. Nice boost steal. This is putting yourself in a kind of awkward situation, right? You're coming at this. You're coming at this from a really awkward angle, which, yes, you'll put it center. I would like to bump there, by the way, but it's not really going to do anything for us. Like, we can't really do anything about that. So I get demoed. That's kind of your cue to... You see me in this corner, so you going back to this corner is just kind of weird. Right? Puts us in a pretty weird situation. Like, I can't... I mean, we score off this, right? And this is one of those situations that Echo talked about that are like, you know, this is a good... this is a good decision, like, or a bad decision that ends up in a good situation, right? I don't think you should have been on this side of the field. I think you should have been on the, like, coming from this part of the field. But it works out, right? I think it's a bad decision to be there, but the actual, like, the outcome was good. So don't I'd say don't... This is a good, you know, good shot. Nice, we scored a goal. In terms of, like, playing as well as you can, I would have preferred you to be on the other side. We can agree to disagree. Just figured since it's a coaching stream, we should discuss our different opinions. I think that we are similar ranks, so I thought maybe more opinions may be welcomed. Yes, of course, always. I'm not gonna, you know, I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think that's a part of playstyle. You know, one person might feel like it's okay for the back player to go in that situation. I personally disagree with that. I think that's a playstyle thing. But I just, like, in this, like, I will generally I'm generally, like, a very safe and kind of textbook player, right? And in this case, I think, yes, there is some out of, you know, the ordinary play that can be made, but I don't think it's the most correct one. I would challenge anyone other than a freestyler to agree that you should jump for that. Okay. That said, though, I'm going to take a 2-minute restroom break, so don't go anywhere. We're going to go do Cypher's replay next. This one. So let me load that in real quick. Alright. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. things that aren't important right now. Yada yada yada. Oh, I didn't want to close that one. Right. Alright. So we've got 2v2 at Champ 1 level by Cypher. Let's see what we got. This is Champ 1, I think. Let's play at Champ 1. Okay, so right off the bat, I don't like flipping here. Commit you to this corner. Like if they get a hit that's like, you know, they kill the ball and then shoot at the goal, you're just done. Like that's a goal, 100%. You cannot save that. So I don't like flipping there. Puts you out of in a weird position, and then jumping after that is just kind of awkward. Like, cause you're challenging something that is never gonna be scored, and then your teammate has to wait. Like right here, note how your teammate wants to go in for this but can't because you're still up. Running outfield instead of using the back wall to control a power select back to net is the error. But yeah, I'd say it's even. I don't think it matters much. Like I think the flip timing here was off as well, and he was committed to that corner harder than he should have been. But yeah, you have a point. Alright, so back to this pass. There's a reason why this is bad, and it's really simple, is you have no information, and you just hit the ball into the wall. So you're right about 2 committed. Yeah, okay, so it's a bit of both. The flip was bad, and the turnout was bad, but the flip wasn't bad because the flip in and of itself it was bad. It was just too late. All right, hold on 1 sec. I'm gonna turn down the rate. Right. But I find that making people think about going straight to go back from boost automatically sorts that out. Yes, I agree. If you're going for boost, always go back to go. You don't ever like. Alright, hold on. I've been keeping up with chat. Let's go back to the kickoff. So, good kickoff. Grabbing boost, that's fine. Using a lot of boost. And then this is horrible. This is just bad. Right, you get this is fine. There's a good chance your teammate touched this. You get this boost and then you don't even wait to see if he has got it. And now you're out of the play. Hello. And you get beaten. I don't know if this is going to be a goal, but it should be. Nope, because he's dumb. He's a dummy. But that should have been a goal. He did. He did pick up the mid. Oh no, he didn't. What the? Huh. That was weird. It was up the first time. Oh, it's just a visual glitch. Okay. Yeah. I mean, still, this is bad. You should not be going this far back for boost. Yep. Agreed. Yeah, I thought you picked up the mid boost, so that's bad. That would have been bad. This is still bad because you rush back and you should have stopped at the mid line, kind of see what's going on. But, yeah, no. My bad. I didn't see that properly. But that should have still been a goal. Like, you still would have had conceded a goal for rushing back in. Also, very big thing is don't go back unless you have information. Like right there, you had no information of what was going on in the play. Your teammate hit the ball back. You could have easily picked up pennies instead and been in the rotation. But you weren't because you were too busy grabbing boost in your back corner. And that's not good. Alright. Hello. Let's go back for this. So. That was a really bad first touch. And then this is a really bad touch again. Yeah, exactly, silent. There's no reason not to be flicking that cam on and off. Alright, so. You see this? Again, there's a sloppy rotation to the corner. You should be facing the ball right here instead of facing the ball at the near post, right where your teammate is. Right? And you just bump him out of the way. I mean, you bump him into a good challenge, but it's not like that was the correct decision. This is greedy. This is really greedy. You turn before he's hit the ball. He gets blocked. And then you give the ball away. There's so many uninformed decisions. You have no information. Your positioning is horrible for making good decisions. Like, you're actually just handicapping yourself because you're not allowing yourself the chance to get information. Again, you do it here again. Hit this. He hits this. You flip towards the ball. You're ball chasing right now. And you're not going to the back post. And now it's a weird touch. You have all the information, but pass out. Should have been a goal. It's not going to be a goal, but it should have been a goal. This is Cypher's, yes. But there's so much uninformed play here. Like, literally half of your decisions are made without any form of information. Like, I'm going to say this in a really harsh way, but that will get the point across. You basically fluke into wins. You basically get lucky for wins. And that sounds really rude when I say it, but if you think about how much information you've been using to make your decisions. Oh, that was so greedy. Well, your teammate's not going to be there, so. But you've been using so much, like, boost as well, by the way. But you've been using so many plays you've been making are so uninformed, and so, so uninformed and so kind of you just get lucky, kind of. That sounds super mean when I say it like that, but like you literally fluke into wins because you just you just hit the ball and you hope there's no teammate there, like no opponent there. This one again. Yeah, he's already... You should expect the second guy to get this, so instead do a rolling pass. That would have got that goal. Here, when you take this shot, you shouldn't be turning away from this. You should actually be turning to this. And then you turn the wrong way and you end up in a really bad spot. You get dunked on, right? You can't do this without information. You need to check where your opponent is. If you just go for this, just on the merit of, oh, I can go for this, then you know you're gonna get punished. At best. Okay. So pass at best. But what I'm more concerned with is the first 3 letters of your reply, which is I don't know. And that is exactly your entire mind state during every single touch you've made so far. Well, not every touch, but most of your touches. Look at how little you know right here. You have no idea if there's someone in goal because your car's blocking it. You know that one of the opponents and your teammate are somewhere on the pitch, right? And there's one guy out of the play, which is behind you. So there's probably one guy in goal. That's what we're assuming, right? There's probably a guy in goal. You have no idea where your teammate is. And look what happens. You shoot, blue gets the ball. And hey, they have possession again, right? You're out of boost, can't do anything. Now, what you could have done is you could have controlled this. And then maybe we can infer that we need to pass away from the back wall since our mate can't be in midfield. No, he can be in midfield. Because he is. Look where our teammate is. Teammate's in midfield. He's just picked up boost. Why not rotate back to goal though? Wait, who rotates back to goal? AO is? There's no one in this spot that I would say rotates back to goal. Not orange, not an orange team at the very least. No one on orange wants to go back to goal. This ball is 100% Cypher's. 100%. But the reason why... Back when the ball's in blue corner... No. Why would he go back to goal? This ball is his. This is 100% his ball. He's just his approach to this ball is... Okay, so basically, right, 2v2 is a constant exchange of possession. In, like, good high-level 2v2 is constantly ping-ponging possession, basically. You know, one guy will have the ball, and then the next guy will have the ball, and you kind of just keep trading and blocking shots, basically. That's what happens. There's also a lot of saves going on, but really, high-level 2s is all about trading possession away. Now, the reason why it is that way is because you don't have enough players to actually... there's not enough players to actually have, like, significant pressure, right? You cannot keep up pressure on rotation like you can in 3s. That's just impossible. You just need an extra player for that. Yeah, like Silent says. But anyways, so what he's doing here is he's making a decision to give away the ball. Like, basically what he's doing is he's saying, okay, I'm going to put this ball somewhere, but I have no idea whether or not there's going to be somewhere or someone there that can stop this ball from being scored on us, right? Like, he's just giving the ball away, basically. My earlier comment was geared towards indicating that a short pass or a pass close to the ball is not reachable for a mate because he's too far away from the goal to convert. Yes, yeah, exactly. Pie Master. That's what I'm trying to say here as well. He's not giving him, like, he's not, like, you're not looking at what is on the field. Like, you're looking at your screen, but you're not actively searching for information. Right? So in this example, I would have 100%, like, if this was me, I would have caught this ball. I would have caught this and tried to dribble it. And I would have probably been challenged because I'm really bad at not telegraphing what the fuck I'm trying to do. But we have the intel because we see it before deciding to shoot pass. You mean this? This intel? You have no idea. You have no idea if the blue player is challenging or not. You have no idea. I mean, yes, now you see it. But if you, like, you cannot respond to information that quickly. You need, like a good half a second to properly respond to this, because there's not only the there's lag, there's no orange mate is driving back and not in position. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, a lot of the time that doesn't register here. That doesn't register here usually. Like, I would have been impressed if in that, like, because there's more going on, right? Right now, you're more focused, so you hit this ball, you see this ball. So the first thing that comes to mind, like, that's just human nature, is the first thing you notice is this ball. Then you're focused on recovering, and that's, like, when you've landed, this is the first time where you can pay attention to what's on your screen. Now, I don't know, but I wouldn't notice this little triangle right here. Right? Twos is about knowing exactly where your teammate is at all times. His location is more important than anything else in the game. Agreed. But I agree, Piemaster, yes, you could have had the information, but I don't think anyone, there's almost no one in this game that would have that would have seen their teammates there. Like, he should have, but I don't think, and like, most people wouldn't have noticed. Yeah, exactly. No way I see that arrow. Like, this is the first time, like, according to, you know, kind of logical thinking, when he would have had time to notice anything. And if you look at this screen, like, there's no information to get. And that's the entire problem, right? I would have controlled that ball, because I know that there's no way, I don't have the information. I'd rather get dunked, because I'm trying to control the ball but make a correct play, than I would pass the ball away for free and get my boost stolen in the process, actually. But just looking at how this situation ended up, this is such a bad situation for you, and that's because you don't make yourself privy of the information that you need. Like, you need to get the information of who is challenging, who is where. Don't just make a blind play. Like, I'm bad at that as well, but I understand the value of it. Like, if you know, actually, it's actually a really interesting thing. The other day I was playing with Icy, and he cleared the ball to midfield, and I wasn't sure whether or not there was someone challenging, so I came in and hit it, right? I didn't have to, but I did, because I had no idea where someone was, and he didn't call out to me that he had time. And that's kind of the thing you need to get used to. You need to get used to, like, if you're in the spot where you have no information, check for information, or just position yourself differently. Flicking camera around more with right stick, yeah, that's one way of doing it. Start with tapping triangle a lot more, that's also true. You know, flicking off ball cam, like, I tend to do this a lot. Is where is everyone? Where is my teammate? That's a big reason why high level 2s like solo queue is, at this level solo queuing 2s is so hard, because it's really hard to expect your teammate to be where you want them to be. But it's so important that you get the information that you need. Like, I will guarantee you, if you position yourself in a way that you can allow yourself to get the information that you need to make good decisions, you will get to Champ 2. 100%. Like, 100%. But right now, you're just playing in the dark. Like, basically, you could have no screen and just sound, and you would, like, that's kind of how you're playing right now. Yes, you're kind of relying on, you know, who's going to hit the ball next, but you're not really relying on where is my teammate, who's going to challenge next. You're kind of playing one step behind everyone else, and that's why you're struggling to get to Champ 2. So here you're not spacing out correctly. You should have been further away. Double commit. Go. Man, oh man, you've gotten so lucky with the goals this game. Oh, and that save.
60 seconds left on the clock.
That used to be Champ 2, which is the funny thing. Yeah, I know, that's what your message said. But, like, the reason why you're not right now is because you're not looking for information right? There's no, like, right now you have no idea where your other opponent is. Oh, he was grabbing boost. Okay, I could have, you know, they made higher ranks harder to get to. True, that's true. But I'm not saying, like, I'm not saying you should be champ 2 right now, but I mean, you could be champ 2 if you farmed more information. Your mechanics are good enough. And get destroyed. Alright, so let's look at that play from your teammate's perspective, since you get demoed. So what does he do? Yeah, he just gets done. Okay. I'm just gonna point this out real quick before we do. Hold on. So where was it? Right here. Yeah. So in this situation, you shouldn't expect to get the ball. 100% lucky is beating you to this. So turn back. Right? Summary overall, please and ruin me. Okay. So, summary overall. You should have lost this game far more decisively. That's my first comment. Like, this game should have been like 5-1. Maybe 5-2. In your, like, you guys losing. And I think I said like 3 to 4 times, like, oh, this should have been a goal. You didn't get scored on because you got lucky. And that's like basically your entire problem is you get lucky. You put the ball in a spot, like on defense, you put the ball in a spot where you hope there's no opponents, and that works at lower levels, right? Because they're not good enough to make you concede every single time. But at this level, everything you do is if you were a fighter pilot, you'd die first in the first dogfight. Yeah, everything you do is uninformed. Like literally every decision you make, every touch you make, you have no idea where your teammate is, where your opponents are, what your opponents are doing. You're just clearing the ball away and hoping that it'll work. And I'm not sure what your rank is in 3s, but I'm gonna bet that you're not higher ranked in 3s than you are in 2s. I will actually bet you're like maybe Diamond 3 in 3s. Because that's so important. It's so important to do that in 3s, and it translates back to 2s. Is don't put the ball where you don't know in 3s, Diamond 2. Something like that. I mean, I wouldn't like D3, yeah, see? And the reason why, one of the reasons why that probably is because you don't look at the information on your screen. You don't find information. You need to find information on your opponents and on your teammates. Like you can't do those passes, like the pass out that you did into the back wall and that your teammate wasn't even close to. You can't do that at this rank. Like if you do that at this rank, that's why you get stuck. Because you're just giving away the ball and you're putting yourself out of position while you're at it. Like you got your boost stolen, and you had to go all the way back to your own corner to get boost. Right, that's not something you can have happen at this rank. And yes, like that's the eternal struggle of Champ 1, is giving away the ball and not being able to put the ball where you want every single time. But get yourself the information. Like you need to know whether or not you have to, keep the ball close to you or you have to hit the ball away. Like if you have to beat someone because they're challenging, yes, hit the ball away. If you're not, like if they're not challenging, then you can keep the ball close to you. And that's something that you're not doing right now. And that's part of the reason why you're stuck at the rank you're stuck at. You're not getting the information you need, and you're not making you're making decisions based on conjecture. You have no, like, the only thing you're basing your decisions on is your mental image of the way the game is moving so far. So put yourself in a position, and this ties in with the advice I've been giving other people, like, put yourself at the back post. Don't put yourself in a position where it's hard for you to find information. Put yourself in a position that, yes, might not be as dangerous, but still gives you the information you need. Like, if I go back to, there's one shot that you made that you were in midfield and you had no idea where the ball was, but no idea where your opponent was, but you were going for a really upfield pass. Yes, you almost scored it, but what happened is you went for a play and you were basically, the entire time you were praying, like, oh, I hope there's no opponent here. But if he was, it would have been a free goal and you would have lost this game. Right? So put yourself in a position, yes, you could, like, if you've been further back, yes, you might not have made that pass as dangerous as it was, but be in a spot where you have the information whether or not you should go for that pass, instead of being in a position where you have no idea and you're hoping. Right? I mean, just the sound of that already sounds way better to me than it like the other one does. Like, I'd much rather be in a spot where my situation is, I know what's going to happen next, but I cannot make a play here, but I know what's going to happen next, then I would be in a position that I have no idea what's going to happen next, but I can make a play. Right? Just the two of those, like, just if you compare the two, they're just like, why would I go for having no idea? Not bad or nothing special, just sort of casual playing for £5. Alright, so poker is actually one of the best games, I would say, to play next to Rocket League, because it's the same thing, right? You're looking for information, and poker is a game about hidden information and how to, like, basically telling a story to your opponent by way of your betting and your, like, what do you call that? By way of your betting, you're basically, like, giving your opponent information, and you're trying to disguise that information as best as possible. Range equity maximize. Yes, but there's, like, that's like the basics of poker, but there's also a lot of things about poker that you need to summary, this time not as harsh. Find information. Get yourself in a position that might not be as far up or might not be as dangerous, but that has information on what's happening next. Second, pieces of advice is focus on your information gathering. Use your right stick more. Like, if you're not using it at all, that's wrong. I mean, I don't use it, like, I would say I don't use it every match, because I tend to put myself in being, I tend to put myself in a position where I can see everything and I have the information. unless I get forced into that position. In which case, I'll try to use it when it's necessary, right? So gather information more and keep your boost management up to par, because your boost management right now, there's a lot of times where you didn't have the boost you needed to make a play. Like remembering license plates or bus times, you think about it at first, then the information just presents when you need it. Don't get me started on SC2, Echo. Don't get me started. I can talk about SC2 all day long. Alright. Dr. Boom. Let us conduct a replay analysis. Actually, I would say that that particular rhythm is not the same in Rocket League. I was a semi-pro in SC2, and the mental checklist in SC2 is so completely different from Rocket League. I mean, yes, there should be a constant question of where is my teammate in Rocket League, but the mental checklist is so much simpler in Rocket League than it is in StarCraft 2. There's a lot more, like, that doesn't become apparent until you hit the higher ranks and like the higher MMRs. But like my biggest breakthrough that I made between like high masters and low to mid grandmasters MMR was just like making more complex mental checklists. I don't disagree, but it's about bringing habits to surface thinking in order to ingrain. Yes. Oh yeah, agreed. Yeah, you should definitely have a mental loop that you should be going through. For anyone that in chat that doesn't know what we're talking about, StarCraft 2 is well, you probably know the game, but StarCraft 2 is a RTS game where the basic cycle of basically what you're trying to do is you're constantly trying to produce workers, you're constantly trying to produce army, and you're making sure that you're not supply blocked. Supply block being, you know, in every strategy game you have like a cap of the amount of units that you can have, and if you hit that cap you cannot produce anything more, which would interrupt your making workers and making units. So in StarCraft 2 we'd have this thing called a mental checklist or a mental loop, which is, am I making workers? Am I making units? Am I not supply blocked? Am I spending my money? That would be like the very basic mental loop, right? And mental loops, like the more complex your mental loops, are, the more like the higher level you can play at, because these like the basic tasks of am I making workers, am I making units, am I not supply blocked, gets easier as you practice it, right? And that's why that mental loop is like the most important thing while you're playing a game. But as you know, get better at the mental loop, then, you know, the tasks become second nature and you move on to more complex, you know, mental loops. And as that mental loop evolves, you just become a naturally higher level player. Mystic is one of the most cognizant mechanical players in the world. Mystic is a fucking god. Like, I swear to God, that guy has to be my pick for, like, in Season 3 RLCS, he was by far the best player, in my opinion. But, because he was just playing insane on every, like, lots of players are good mechanically. Mystic can actually go for exactly the shot he wants every time. Yes. Mystic is like that guy that, he's just, like, good everywhere. Like, you can put him on any team, and he'll be good. That's my favorite, that's my favorite part about him. You actually land in a weird spot here, which leaves you unable to second flip. And your recovery is kind of affected by that, but that's fine. Nice fake. Good pass. That was a really good play by you. That was super well executed. This was actually, like, if we just look at this, this was probably a perfectly executed play in terms of decision making. Like, look at this. This is something that people, like, it's probably wouldn't be emphasized, but look at how clean this is. And this is something pretty much everyone in chat could learn from. Okay, so he realizes that, right here, he realizes that he can't challenge this. Right, because he'll just hit it into Maverick. So he fakes him, and then when DLQ is panicking, he passes it out to Control. 1 second. And it, like, especially if that's a solo play, like if, like you say, it's no comms, that's just super well executed. Like, you should be proud of that play, because decision making wise, that was the best possible play you could have made. Good positioning there. I personally say that the correct play here is to be on the more on the other side of the field, like more mid focused, just so you're covering more of the field. Like, look at that ball. There's no one contesting that for a long time. Like, it's just rolling there, and that's because your positioning there was kind of awkward. Good clear. No one respected your ability to clear that, and you got away with it. Control, good pass. I don't like that flip, but you're gonna get away with it. That flip just committed you to, this flip just committed you. Let's see, could you have done something about that? Oh, really? Control just passed that out to someone else. He should have just realized that that's not your fault. Not really anything you could have done in this situation. Like, yes, your first touch was kind of bad, so it would have been in a slightly better position, but once you made that touch, there was nothing you could do, pretty much. Oh, no, okay. I thought that was your teammate next to you, but that was an opponent. Right. Nice 50-50 by Control. Control is kind of carrying the team right now. He's just getting super good touches in midfield and on defense. It's actually a pretty good back pass. I would have preferred you to go on the backboard here. You should have been on the backboard for this, I think. I don't know. It's tough to say because I don't know whose face it is that's coming back here. Flanxis? I think Flanxis might be able to save this shot if it's a shot. Super tough to say though. It's really hard to say if this is savable, like if it's a shot for you. I don't know. Wider line here would have been nice. So you know, this hit, and then this hit, right? You just kind of take a long time to turn for this. You should have, like... So, you see that Flanxis is going for boost, he's recovering. And then you see Control is going to get the next touch. This is a nice freeze, by the way. So, immediately here, you should be moving upwards. Right? There's no reason for you to go back to go. You already are pretty much full boost anyway. So you go back really slowly, and now you're in a horrible spot. They get a 50-50. Oh, sorry. He gets 50-50, and now you're like... So you're kind of just... You're kind of just in a bad spot this entire time. What if he dunks? Maverick? Okay, so if he dunks, then Control is bad. That's just simple. Like, plain and simple. Control should be putting this somewhere where you guys can contest it, but that doesn't get blocked by Maverick. Like, that's not your fault. Like, if he blocks, that's not your fault. Remember that your priority in this game is not to win this game. Right? That's something that seems very, very, like, oh, what the fuck is he saying? But your priority is not to win this game. Your priority is to play as well as you can. Play the best that you can. Oh, something... Uh-oh. My chat just died. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hello? Are we still here? Yeah. Alright, sick. Didn't crash. Feels good, man. So your job in this game, or your priority, is not to win. It's never in any game. He died. Did I die? I hope not. I don't know if stream died for a second. I just know that my chat and my Twitch page that I have open died. But yeah, so your priority is never to be... Oh wow, if you didn't hear him, this looks so bad in chat. Stream is fine, good. But yeah, so your priority is never to be... Your priority is never to win this particular game. Your priority is always to make the correct decision... Oh, sorry, I should probably explain that. Your priority is to always make the correct decision. Now, the correct decision varies from situation to situation. For example, something that is the correct situation in, a correct option in situation A might be a completely wrong decision in situation B, even though the situations might be very similar. Right? And that's because you want to pick the option that is correct the most amount of times. If any of you in chat play card games, there will be a lot of times where you have two very good plays, but one of them is just going to be better in more situations. So that is the correct play, because in pretty much, like, in most of the situations, that will be correct. Him. The only thing you can prevent is possibly a goal from being scored. At the same time, you have no idea if Flanks has moved back or not. Right? So, you want to think of this as... you want to think of this as, you know, what is my best play? Right? Is your best play going back to goal? Well, apparently not, because he didn't get blocked. Right? Even if he gets blocked, then that's still on control. You want to basically defer everything that's like not your fault to other players, right? If control gets dunked, that's on him. If you're not there because you didn't want to expect a dunk, then that's not your fault. You don't have to expect a dunk there. I'd say your mechanics are pretty sloppy so far. I've noticed in like the last I don't know what minute or so, there's a couple plays that you made that were just not very clean mechanically, like input wise. Yeah. So here you notice that both of them are going for this ball, so you're never going up this wall. If they take a shot under you, you get scored on, right? So you want to stay on the ground for that one. That also allows you to get more information as well, so probably should do that. Yeah, that was another like very unclean flip. Right? Just kind of wobbled there. Kind of fucked you over on momentum. So momentum management is still like rather, you know, rather crude. There's a couple times now that I've seen where you just kind of lose momentum for no real reason. have like lost track of what happened in the earlier part of the game. In this second part of the game, though, I think you're just like this is kind of the type, like it's different in solo standard than it is in regular standard. But in solo standard, you know, playing safe, like in general, oh my bad. In general, playing safe is good, right? In any solo queue, just play safe. But you're reaching the point where playing safe is actually a downside. Like it's not good anymore because you need to have other replays of bigger loss if you want, but that's from team. I think it's a lot better to analyze that. I'd rather do close games, and solo queue games are the best for that. But I just think that this game didn't really show any real patterns for me that are like, these are things that you do over and over. I haven't really checked your lines to go, but I haven't really noticed anything really big. So I mean, this is bad, right? This is one of those bad ones. But other than that, I haven't really noticed anything like super huge. Like you blatantly disrespect your opponent's ability to hit the ball before you a lot. That's something you do. Like you'll know that they'll get it to you before get to it before you, and they'll still go. But there's no real patterns that I can think of. Like I will just defer you to my basic how to get to champ 1 like starter pack, which is take wide lines on the ball, look at your screen better, respect your opponent's ability to hit the ball, and what was the fourth one? There's always a fourth one and I always forget it. Take wide lines. Oh yeah, take good lines to go. All right. All right, all right, all right. There's a bit to go, I think. Right? Yeah, it's a bit to go. Alright, so right off the bat, before we even start the game, I always... Are you Agnologia? Agnologia? Whatever. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Because I think you were in chat. Alright, so... You're in chat, so that's good. That helps. It's a lot more productive that way. Oh yeah, I'm just going to refer to you as a you now. But so first, right off the bat, before we even get into the game, your camera settings are super weird. I don't know if you're a ones player. That would have been a goal on normal camera settings. Is my, like, immediately, that's my point. Like, your camera settings are making it so hard for you to get good touches. And yes, these might be the KevPod settings. I have no idea if they actually are, but these are bad camera settings, full twos. So this I 100% disagree with. This is bad. Like, this is not good. This is something you would never be able to, like, should never do. Ever. Like, ever, ever, ever. You have ball cam off right here, which is fine, right? You can argue that you're aligning yourself with pads. Fine. Right? It should be on now. This is where ball cam should be on. You have no idea what's going on. Going back. All the way to that boost. You had 59 boost. You had plenty of boost. You just go, fuck it, I'm out of here. Right? This is horrible. This is the worst mistake you could have made. Instead of turning around here. Just turn around. Like, you don't need to be back in goal. As well as there are 3 big boosts close. He takes the one on the far side. Yeah, exactly. Right. You don't, like, I know that there's this, like, mini game in plat, like high plat and low diamond, that is pick up all the boost every time. But ball over boost, man. If you have 60 boost, you don't need that extra 40. And if you do, you just pick up the pads. They're there for a reason. You pick up pads because you don't have the time to pick up a corner boost. How do you select the camera settings effectively? You don't. Like, there's no one way to select camera settings. It's whatever feels good for you. For example, if we, I don't know if we can see my camera settings. No, we can't. I'll show my camera settings after. But like, I don't think you should play based on one camera. Like, you pick a camera that you like, whether that is because it's your favorite pro or it's just something you like. Whatever, but pick a camera setting that feels good for you, but don't pick this kind of shit. Like, this is absolutely horrible for most players. You will not get precise touches with this. You will not get what you need. How did he miss that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Squishy's camera is actually relatively close to mine, I think, except he uses more FOV than me, I'm pretty sure. These are the camera settings that felt good for me. Honestly, I feel like that's just like blatantly not true. Because like, looking at your play, I've just noticed, like, already, like, most of the things I want to say something about are just like, yeah, your camera settings are just awkward as fuck. And there's no, like none of the touches, or like most of the touches you've made so far have felt fluked. As in, you didn't exactly want to take that particular touch. Good wait on the redirect there. Like, this is the type of shit that you're good at, right? That's what your camera is for, is you can see when people are challenging, but you're not playing to it. You're playing very normally, I'd say. But here, like, that, you wouldn't have made that touch on a normal camera. You would have put it to the goal and not to the corner, right? And that's why I'm kind of hesitant to say anything, because it's, like, most of your mistakes so far have just been where you put the ball. You're welcome, Dr. Doom. But yeah, so honestly, I'd say work on the camera settings, get different camera settings, experiment with them. And you'll notice that this is, you know, you're just missing so many hits. I will do one. What situation do you have the worst view? Well, pretty much this camera setting. All right, so I'm gonna. We're gonna do it this way. Hold on. Alright. I'm gonna go. Alright. We're gonna go do some paint, boys. Because that's literally the only way I know how to explain this. Right? If this is the ground, right? Almost straight line. Perfectly straight line. Very nice. Alright. So if this is a circle, oval. No, I want a circle, mate. Where's my where are my circles at? Where are my circles at? Oh, we'll just do it. We'll just make do with ovals, right? If this is the ball, an oval can be a circle, but not every circle is an oval. I know the way this works. And if this is your car, right? Let's just say this is your car. So camera settings are basically the angle. If we go back to brushes. So basically your camera settings are the angle at which you view this. So for example, your camera settings are coming in from this. Oh, Jesus. Fuck. Alright, get it. I want bigger lines. So your angles are coming in like that, right? This is your arrow. That's the way you're looking at the screen. So if this ball moves up here, you're still looking at it from a really weird angle, right? And that's just because you're still looking at it from above, right? You're kind of, so it's really hard for you to kind of estimate where the ball is relative to your car with these car settings. Now, if you're looking more from this, oh, that's the wrong tool. Hello, I'm good at paint, boys, I promise. Now, if you're looking at it from this angle, completely different, because you can see that there's a definite difference in height, right? You want to have your camera settings be lower to the ground so you don't have this problem with, you know, with where is the ball and where is the ball relative to my car. As Silent just said in chat, you're playing football with your chin glued to your chest, right? So don't play football with your chin glued to your chest. Play the game with your head up normally. And that's what your camera settings are doing for you, right? But yours are not. Yours are actively limiting the way you view the field. And why the reason why that is because you're looking from up. Like, you're looking down at the field. You're not looking up at the field when you have to. Also, yes, my paint skills are amazing. Thank you all. Right? Look at, like, this ball that ball would have been so much easier to judge if you'd been lower on the ground. Like, I will guarantee you, if you had normal camera settings, you would have hit this ball. Also, I think the camera's too far as well. Yeah, that's one of the issues. But basically, most of your problems stem from these camera settings. And these camera settings work in ones, right? Because it's important to be able to see whether or not someone is challenging. But in twos, it's not nearly as important because you can find out that information. Right? So don't limit yourself with camera settings. Like, if we go to mine for a quick second. Now, not that I can... My camera settings on this account are actually different from the ones that I normally use, because this is also one of the reasons I have a Smurf. But I normally play on these camera settings. These are my camera settings. Now notice how much easier it is for me to judge how much higher a ball is than me. So I can almost always get a power touch on it. Yeah, well, you're not, and that's kind of the thing, right? You're not playing an RPG. You're playing an MMO soccer game. If I don't even know what, yeah, our action sports game, right? So you're not playing an RPG. So don't try to play an RPG in an action sports game, right? So camera settings are actually super important. Like, don't underestimate the power of a good camera setting or a good camera setup. Will I get banned for posting an Imgur link with your settings? With my camera settings, Pymaster? I think Nightbot will ban you for that or mute you for that, but I think I can permit Pymaster. Do your worst. Right, so no, these are mine. But like this is I'm not even like, this is not a pro setup. This is just something I prefer. You know, I prefer 104 and I can play on 97 if I need to. Because that's just my preference, right? But and also because I hate screen, what you call it? Screen, what's my what's the word? Tearing? Not tearing. The one where, like, stretching, that's the one. But, screen tearing or screen stretching, I don't know. But, like, I noticed that. And that's why I'm on a lower FOV than 110. Do you think you can go pro? Nope. Also, fuck off Horizon. But, yeah, so your camera settings probably the most limiting thing. I mean, there's obviously positional mistakes that you made in the last game or in that replay, but you're so limited on just touches, like just mechanics alone by your camera settings that it's just kind of hard to, you know, say, oh yeah, you're making a positional mistake here, whereas your actual mechanics are the reason why you're you know, you're fucking up a lot of things. Like, I can point out at least 3 spots where you should have scored a goal there, and you didn't. 1610 can be very beneficial, just can't be asked to change it all the time. Yeah, feels bad. I play on 1610 because I'm poor. Also, Super, I don't really know if it's necessary at this point. Like, he just needs to find his own camera settings that work for him. And that's not something we can really help him with. I mean, I'd say just pick any random pro, copy theirs, see how it feels. If it feels good, you know, start making slight adjustments, see what it feels like. Once get used to the pro settings, and then, oh, you mean for you? Well, do you play? Is any one of your settings really weird? Unless one of your settings, like on. Oh, unless one of your camera settings is really weird, there's no real point because anything works really. Pros are idiots though. Yes, they are, but I mean, there's a reason why their camera works. It's just because they're good they're good starting places. Like, use a pro camera setting to get used to the game, and then once you've you got used to the, you know, to the camera settings, then start adjusting for yourself. Find out what feels good, customize, you know, all that shit. But my stiffness is at like what, 0.45? Stiffness is at 75 is fine. -3 camera angle is good too. For a lot of the camera settings, it's because of 7 years of SARP. Yeah, SARP is. I mean, I'm not saying like. What I'd say, AO, is just go figure out camera settings. Like, you might find out that it's not, you know, that it's not for you, and that these camera settings are correct for you. But I'd say having normal camera settings will not hurt you. Like, I think it'll be a huge difference for you in terms of mechanics. And like, once you've changed, that's when I'd say to submit another replay, because that's when you can focus on things that aren't, you know, happening because of your camera settings. Anyways though, I think that was the last replay that I had stocked up for today, and with that we should also have hit our 7th. How often does these happen? These streams? They happen from time to time. I'm planning to do them every week, depending on my situation. I might not be able to next week because I'm moving soon. But it should happen like weekly from now on. What if your camera settings are bad but you can't tell and you like them? Your camera settings aren't bad unless one of your settings is way higher than it should be, or way high or way lower than it should be. Like, you shouldn't have, for example, if you play with I don't know, like 0 angle, for example, this is also bad for obvious reasons, right? Although you could play with it, yes, but I would say the acceptable limit like on, for example, angle, is anywhere between -3 and -8. Although -8 already looks really weird to me. Right? So keep angle is one of the most important ones. So I'd say that these 4 are the most important ones, but I'd say yeah, exactly. Keep any changes within 20% and you'll be fine. I'd say -5. I'd say keep this to 110, but you can experiment a bit. And I'd say anywhere between 240 and maybe 290. 110, 260, 110, -30. That's fine. That's a fine camera setting, super. Those are fine. You can use those. And then, you know, FOV is whatever. Like, I'd say don't go below 97 or 95, I'd say, and don't go above, well, obviously you can go above 110, but I personally say if you don't want screen tearing, don't go above 104 or 105. Screen tearing. So basically above a certain FOV, that's like, I think it's above 105, I think, is when it starts happening. When you're above that, yeah, you have trouble judging at the edges of your screen. Anyways, though, that should do it. Hold on, let me take off that scene. I think that will be it for today. I don't have any more replays to analyze. I hope the people that did get their replays analyzed, one of whom I will have to tag shortly, the people that did get their replays analyzed learned something from it. You know, I hope you learned something. That's why I do this. I don't do this just because I can. I want to help people improve. So thank you for watching. We hope to see you soon. We'll be doing game night soon. I will have to refer to my colleagues in the RLCD staff for that one. But game night should be soon, and then we've got tournaments coming up